Man, where is that guy? I told him I was going to teach him the ways, but I don't see him anywhere. Oh, shoot. Is that you? You learn like the master. You're almost as blended in as me. I went for a little swim. My hair is looking really bad. Yeah. Well, today I wanted to give you a little lesson on some of the creatures around here. Pretty soon we're going to go out and tame some creatures to help you get some personal experience. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull out my book here and show you the dossiers of all of these creatures. Well, the most important creatures, at least. Wow, my hair looks horrible, doesn't it? Maybe I should just keep this on. Alright, that's pretty good. So yeah, like I said, I have a book here of all of the dossiers of every creature on this ark. Today I will only show you 5. The 5 most important that any starter should know. And these dinosaurs are going to help you do everything you need. All 5 of them combined will give you everything possible. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the first one. The first one is actually a parasaur. They have very many uses. For one, if you store them at your base, they will detect any enemy in a certain radius around your base, as well as they can collect berries if you ride them. If you ride them and command them to hit a bush, they will take all of the berries from that bush and hand it to you. It's actually kind of weird, but that is how it happens, so yeah, that is kind of weird. The common name, parasaur. Species, Parasaurolophus amphibio. Time, late Cretaceous. Diet, herbivore. Temperament, skittish. The wild parasaur. Parasaurus amphibio was some of the more interesting adaptations of all creatures I've seen on the island. Like all parasaurs, it has its signature head ridge. Very docile at first, I've been able to approach parasaurs with no problem. If started, though, parasaurs will immediately run very far, very fast. A domesticated parasaur. As a relatively simple creature to domesticate, Parasaurolophus amphibio is quite possibly the most common mount I've yet seen on the island. Its ability to run fairly fast for lengthy intervals makes it an excellent mode of transportation. Thought it was almost an ability to defend itself or its rider. Oh, I missed one in the wild. This species of parasaur seems to have a previously disapproved used for its ridge. Small openings at the top of the ridge allow it to be used as a snorkel. This is a unique ability to the Parasaurolophus amphibio, as is their surprising speed in the water. So that was the parasaur. This next one, the Beelzebufo, is arguably the most important. It is what is going to give you all of your cementing paste for any metal that you make, as well as you're going to need some for a Mosasaurus platform saddle, which I will get into shortly. So, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the Beelzebufo now, and I need you to actually pay attention to this one. This one is very important and very efficient to everything, and not only is it just used for now, it can also be used later, but there's also another thing I'm going to get into that makes the frog not as purposeful or useful as it would be in the start. Alright, let's get into it. Common name, Beelzebufo. Species, Beelzebufo Pacucocus. Time, late Cretaceous. Diet, carnivore. Temperament, languorous. In the wild, 𝗦𝗢𝗌𝗍𝗂𝗎𝗍 is the largest frog I've ever seen. Almost impossibly large. It can actually fit a fully grown human adult on its back, though just barely. This is a dangerous prospect, though, as secretions from Beelzebufo's skin and saliva have a narcotic effect on most creatures. Not surprisingly, Beelzebufo is adept to killing insects. Its lengthy tongue allows it to quickly grab prey from afar, killing most insects nearly instantly and quickly digesting them. It even combines the narcotic chemicals in its mouth with the insect's chitin to create a specialized sticky substance, which is called cementing paste. The tamed Beelzebufo. Domesticated. Tamed Beelzebufo make for strange mounts. Strange mounts for strange people. And we are those strange people. Many tribes don't believe there's any reason to ride them, but some enjoy the ability to take out large, vertical hops and make walls and cliffs. Regardless of how it's ridden, Beelzebufo is also employed for the ability to quickly call insects and connect them into always useful cementing paste. Alright, so this next dinosaur is my favorite because it can literally have a base on its back. And that, of course, is the Mosa. And that's what I was saying I was going to get into after the Beelzebufo. The Beelzebufo can be used to kill insects and gather cementing paste, which is the easiest way to make the Mosasaurus platform saddle, which is what our tribe's entire bases are made on top of. We really are submarines. So, I want you to pay attention closely to this one, as you will be riding one and call it your own base. Common name, Mosasaurus. Species, Mosasaurus Suspirta. Time, late Cretaceous. Diet, carnivore. Temperament, aggressive. Wild. Until recently, I believed the Megalodon to be the greatest of the ocean's predators. Then I discovered Mosasaurus Suspirta in the deeps. Not quite as
domesticated, Mosasaurus has proven to be an excellent tame for the most advanced tribes. Yep, that sounds like us. Due to its sheer size and power, you will often find tribes with bases and defenses built upon a Mosasaurus large platform saddle. Having one with you as an escort is probably one of the best oceanic defenses available, and I can approve of that.
Now that was the Mosasaurus. I am very proud to be one of the most powerful tribes that has ever set foot in this ARK. Now, this next one is called a Dunkleosteus, and I think once you reach the level that we are at, the Dunkleosteus is much more important than the Beelzebufo, but they do a very similar job. The Dunkleosteus is a giant kind of fish, like a megalodon, but with a bony face, and they are capable of biting into metal rocks and breaking them, harvesting a lot of metal in the process, and stone. And the stone can be used to make cementing paste much more efficiently than a frog can. You combine stone and chitin, and that makes cementing paste. And the chitin is obtained by killing Dunkleosteuses. So I have one that is tamed to go get metal and stone, and then I kill the other ones to get the chitin. Alright, let's get into it.
Common name, Dunkleosteus. Species, Dunkleosteus Loricaruptor. Time, late Devonian. Diet, carnivore. Temperament, docile. Wild, Dunkleosteus Loricaruptor is a very strange creature. It is a fairly large fish covered head to tail in armored plates with incredibly powerful jaws. It tends to eat the island's water-dwelling crustaceans, crawling in the seabed as it is not the fastest to catch the most smaller fish. Dang it, dude. What font is this in? I don't know who wrote this, but these pages I found in the woods, they can be kind of helpful, but fairly bad font. Dunkleosteus is surprisingly combat-oriented for a fish. Its well-armored body protects it from many creatures, while its bite is strong enough to easily crush through glutinous shells. Domesticated, Dunkleosteus is an incredibly useful fish for coastal communities. Its powerful jaws make short work of the stone and oil formations found throughout the oceanic depths. While harvesting, Dunkleosteus can defend its rider from all but the largest threats in the waters. And once it's past its prime, the Dunkleosteus itself can be harvested for a fair amount of chitin. And that's what I was explaining earlier.
So, that was the Dunkleosteus. You're definitely going to need one of those if you ever plan on efficiently getting yourself a lot of metal and cementing paste quickly. Now, the next one is very important. It is not needed, but it is a more of a efficient way of getting wood. You could always resort to your axe or your chainsaw, but these dinosaurs here, called Casteriodes, They're basically very large beavers capable of biting into trees and getting large amounts of wood, which can then be burned into charcoal and then added some spark powder to make gunpowder. And gunpowder, as you know, is very, very important. Let's get into it.
Common name, Casteriodes. Species, Casteriodes Feliconcisor. Time, late Pleionistis, whatever. Diet, herbivore. Temperament, friendly. Wild, Casteriodes Feliconcisor is a large mammalian herbivore that tends to live near water. Unlike other larger beaver species, this one retains the chiseled snapped teeth of modern beavers. As is typical for beavers, they build dams and habitats, but the larger creatures on the island have a tendency to trample them. As a result, finding unsullied, resource-rich dams in the wild is quite rare. Casteriodes itself doesn't seem to realize how dangerous the island is. I don't know if it's simply too dumb to notice the dangers or if it just doesn't care. But Casteriodes happily goes about its day, playing in the water and gnawing on wood. Domesticated. The value of a tamed Casterioid is obvious from its physiology. The creature naturally gathers wood, extremely efficiency, far more than most species on the island. It's not the strongest creature, so it can only carry limited amounts, but it is a natural lumberjack. Its saddle doubles as a mobile crafting station, which allows for producing complete items on the go.
So, that was the giant beaver. What do you think of that? What do you think of all of these creatures I've taught you about today? Oh, okay, that's good. Do you think you're ready to tame one of these creatures? Alright, we'll see about that. How about you meet me here tomorrow at noon? Right at noon, high noon. And we will go on a taming trip. How does that sound? Oh, that's perfect. I hope you have learned something from this today. I will let you choose which dinosaur you would like to tame. Alright. I'll see you later.